Hedera just landed one of the biggest enterprise partnerships in crypto this year. The UAE is rolling out decentralized digital IDs on Hedera's network. Transactions are exploding. Real adoption is happening. And yet HBAR's price is barely moving. Sentiment just hit an all-time low. So what's actually going on here? Is this the calm before a massive breakout? Or are we watching a sinking ship with a fancy new paint job? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're here for no-nonsense crypto analysis that cuts through the hype, you're in the right place. Do me a favor, smash that like button right now, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's get into it. Hedera is making serious moves in the Middle East. This month, the network partnered with BEEAH Group and the Hashgraph Group to launch IDTrust, a decentralized digital identity platform. This isn't some vaporware announcement. IDTrust is live, built on Hedera's distributed ledger, and it's one of the UAE's first enterprise-level DID solutions. The reveal happened at Volante Tower in Dubai, and it's already generating buzz across the blockchain space. IDTrust falls under the Hashgraph Association's Enterprise Accelerator program, which means this isn't a side project. It's designed to give businesses and citizens secure, self-sovereign identity management. BEEAH Group plans to integrate the platform across energy, real estate, environment, and healthcare. We're talking about a privacy-first ecosystem that handles sensitive data without sacrificing control. The UAE is positioning itself as a global leader in digital identity innovation, and Hedera's infrastructure is the backbone. This partnership shows Hedera's growing influence in Web3 and enterprise blockchain, especially in regions that prioritize digital transformation. The Middle East is going all in on blockchain, and Hedera is becoming the go-to network for serious enterprise use cases. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite this massive news, HBAR's price isn't reflecting the hype. So why the disconnect? On-chain data tells a completely different story than the price chart. Hedera processed over 1.78 million transactions on October 16th, a daily record. That's not speculation, that's real usage. Transaction volume across Hedera's crypto services jumped nearly 20 times compared to normal levels. Fresh data shows hourly transaction counts above 20,000, which is a 9% increase over previous periods. Those numbers scream adoption. Hedera's low-cost, high-speed infrastructure is attracting serious projects and enterprise partners, even while the broader market corrects. But investors aren't buying it. HBAR's weighted sentiment indicator just dropped to an all-time low. Traders are skeptical. The market is cautious. Nobody wants to make the first move. HBAR's correlation with Bitcoin sits at 0.92, which means Hedera's price moves almost in lockstep with BTC. If Bitcoin rebounds and pushes above $108,000, HBAR could ride that wave higher, but if Bitcoin faces renewed selling, HBAR is going down with it. That's the risk of being tethered to the market leader. According to on-chain analysts tracking Hedera's network activity, the transaction surge isn't a one-off event. It's actually sustained growth driven by enterprise adoption and real-world use cases. The UAE partnership is just the beginning. When governments and major corporations start building on your network, that's validation. That's the kind of foundation that outlasts market cycles. But sentiment data shows a different reality. A well-known crypto sentiment tracker reports that HBAR's weighted sentiment is at historic lows. Traders are apathetic. They're not excited. They're waiting for proof that the price will follow the fundamentals. And honestly, I get it. We've seen too many projects with great tech and terrible price action. Here's my take. Hedera is building real infrastructure. The UAE deal is massive. The transaction numbers are undeniable. But the market is forward-looking, and right now, it's looking at Bitcoin. HBAR's 0.92 correlation with BTC means everything depends on Bitcoin's next move. If BTC stabilizes and trends upward, HBAR will follow. If Bitcoin dumps, HBAR is coming down harder. That's just how altcoin cycles work. The descending broadening wedge pattern HBAR is forming is actually bullish if market conditions improve. These patterns often precede breakouts, but timing is everything. Right now, HBAR is trading at 16.7 cents, hovering just below the key resistance of 17.2 cents. Breaking through that level could open the door to 18 cents and eventually 18.8 cents in the short term. That would validate the bullish structure and give investors confidence to re-enter. But if bearish sentiment deepens and Bitcoin falters, HBAR could fall through 16.3 cents and drop to 15.4 cents. Losing that support would invalidate the bullish outlook and signal further downside risk. The 17.2 cent resistance level is critical. If HBAR breaks above it, we're looking at a potential rally toward 18.8 cents. That's a 12% move from current levels, which isn't life-changing, but it's enough to shift momentum and bring buyers back into the market. The descending broadening wedge pattern supports this thesis. Historically, these patterns resolve to the upside, especially when volume confirms the breakout. We're at a pivotal moment. The next few weeks will determine whether Hedera's fundamentals can overpower market fear or if we're headed for another leg down. The UAE partnership should be a bigger deal than it is. You know, governments don't adopt blockchain lightly. When the UAE chooses Hedera for decentralized digital identity, that's a stamp of approval. It says the technology works. It says the infrastructure is secure. And it says Hedera is trusted at the highest levels. But the market doesn't reward patience. It rewards momentum. And, honestly, HBAR doesn't have momentum right now. If Bitcoin enters a new bull phase, HBAR will benefit. If Bitcoin struggles, HBAR struggles. That's just the reality of altcoin investing in 2025. Here's my honest opinion. If you're a long-term holder, Hedera's fundamentals are strong. The UAE partnership is a big deal. The transaction growth is undeniable. The network is being used for real-world applications. That's what really matters in the long run. But if you're a short-term trader, HBAR is a tough play right now. So, the risk-reward here is honestly kind of unclear. You're basically betting on Bitcoin's recovery and, well, a sentiment shift that may or may not actually happen. The 16.3 cent support level is absolutely crucial. If HBAR falls below that, the next stop is 15.4 cents, and that really invalidates the bullish setup. At that point, you're probably looking at more downside until the market, finds a bottom. But if HBAR holds above 16.3 cents and manages to break above 17.2 cents, the upside really opens up. It's a pretty binary outcome. Either the pattern plays out, or it just doesn't. Now what would actually change my mind? Well, a sustained Bitcoin rally above $108,000 along with improving sentiment for altcoins. If both of those things happen, HBAR could finally break out of this range and start, reflecting its fundamentals. But until then, I'm cautious. The market doesn't care how good your technology is if nobody's buying. Alright everyone, that's the full breakdown of Hedera's UAE partnership and what it means for HBAR's price. The fundamentals are solid, the adoption is real, but the market isn't convinced yet. We're at a critical support level, and the next move could define the next few months for HBAR holders. If you want more deep dives like this, check out my other videos where I break down altcoins' next major move. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. I'll see you in the next one. Quick reminder, this is not financial advice. Crypto is extremely volatile and risky. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Stay safe out there.